What's up, everyone? So we got another fun deployment. Today we're rolling out InfraWorks. So we are going to start with our package as usual. You can see I already downloaded the InfraWorks install. So as always, this is just the straight download from the manage.autodesk website, unzipped. Don't change it. Just put it all in here. I renamed this, just took out the language and the space, just to make the line in the PowerShell script simpler. But you can see, as with all main apps, we're just using a -q. We're copying to the Autodesk folder. This will give a folder a space to run. So we're going to do this. And we're gonna let this run. Sorry for the dogs barking. I think my kids are waking up. And we need our quotes. And you don't need two input folders, but I do. I have it just because I have things that are not Autodesk that I don't use that copy folder for. So we're gonna go there, and we're gonna run our PowerShell script. We're gonna let that install go. As you know, and as I've said, because the first line of our thing is to copy this into that C Autodesk folder, that's going to happen first. We're going to see that kind of show up. My computer does not want to be slow. So you'll see it. There's our InfraWorks model or install folder. So it's already copying over, and we'll start to notice in Task Manager that you'll start to notice a few things. You'll notice, like, if you're using Defender or Scanner, because it's running PowerShell, it's going to scan kind of what's coming down. That's usual for like Intune as well. You can set some rules up to how it targets and things like that. But once it kind of goes off, you'll see like the Autodesk installer kind of kick off. So there's that. A few things that have come in just because we have these installs. You notice some updates. We'll make some packages for that too in another video. But the licensing service and single sign-on, these are things I really like to deploy over a weekend and at night. If someone's logged in working and one of these kick in, it can sign them out. And if in Revit especially, you can't save sometimes if you're signed out, and you can't sign back in, so it'll make you like force close the app. So we really don't want people to lose work, so that's why we time those. Alright, so we're going to see the service kind of kick off in a minute. Or we should. There's that setup file going. Alright, so while that's going, we'll start another PowerShell. And you don't have to run as administrator, just sometimes it gets any other bugs out of the way. So we're going to start making our package. So we got that going. Again, I know my processor can handle doing both. If you have like a lighter machine, you may not want to do these at the same time. So that's just up to your machine specs. So our PowerShell script is going to be the setup file. So that was... Now, I'm going to spell this wrong on purpose, just so you can see that if the file isn't there, it's not going to let you pick something that doesn't exist. So there you go. And we'll put it in the output folder. Don't specify. And we're going to let that run. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And we will keep an eye on two things. We'll keep an eye on the output folder. So as this package gets closer to 100%, you'll start to notice the file. And then we'll just, kind of keep an eye on this. I'll keep an eye on Task Manager off screen. So there's that. Slide this over just a little bit. And then just because we're prepping we will go to help. So we're going to go to Autodesk InfraWorks page. So, a couple things we do like for oh Jesus, did that stop? No. Oh, sorry. I thought I stopped the recording for a second. But we do like getting the logo that goes in our Intune page and company portal, and then just keep this up for later. We'll copy in the InfraWorks notes so that they're there just in case, and we'll use the informational URL. So, gonna let that run for a few minutes. And I'm going to mute, and then that way I can trim this video up later, and you won't have to wait as long to see all this. And you can see InfraWorks. I was going to mute, but then suddenly the icon showed up. InfraWorks actually installs pretty quick, again, depending on your machine. But the installer's still running, so we're going to give this time to kind of finish out. Didn't think it would finish up that fast, but we'll go look for the registry keys. And then as soon as our PowerShell has packaged up and made our package, we will be good to go. Alright, so I was looking at something else earlier, so I need to get out of the WoW 64. We're doing some other deployments. So let's look at our normal Microsoft Windows current version. As always, I do look for the uninstall scripts. Again, sometimes with the main apps, I'll look for just like the exe for detection, and then the updates will all be here. So like another way you could do that is, we have the InfraWorks thing, so we could go, let's look at the C drive. Like you could just, oh, that's the wrong folder. Come here, you could find your InfraWorks, and when this is done, you'll be able to target like a file that was created during the install, like the exe, and kind of take it from there. So just see, sometimes InfraWorks makes a few folders, so okay, yeah, so it's going to target that exe once it's fully done. That's definitely not fully done installing, so we're going to let that still go. But we'll check the registry key too. So we'll find. So you can see it start to show up in places. There's like the main key right there. So we know that it's loading up. You can see it starting to fill out and program files. So again, with main apps, you're welcome to target either one. I've actually seen people who don't deploy main apps this way, and then they just make an Intune app that searches basically for the detection rule. So they can see that it's installed, and then they can go back and just push updates. So there's multiple ways to do that. Again, that's up to you and how you're rolling out apps. But you can see this is kind of burning through the install at the moment. That's still going. Let's check on our package. Up to 20%. So, and then usually this starts to fly towards the end. So we're getting close. We're getting close, because once the installer winds down, all the processing power will go towards packaging it. And so, for example, here we can use the exe once it's there. Let's just double check what that's named. It's just InfraWorks. Okay. So you could target this, knowing that it comes like towards the end of the install. That could be your detection target, because once that's there, you know it's there. The main app isn't going to change this. I've seen, well, this was like over the years, but sometimes a update changes the registry key or a registry key in the key. So depending on what you're targeting for main apps, that could be a thing. Just something to watch out for, and something we always check. So, you know, it's kind of up to you which route you go. So I thought I was going to mute, but these are kind of all of our deployments. I'm going to open up 2025 just so I have it as a reference. Because these aren't like required installs, if someone's does fail, like for example there's one here, could be for any number of reasons. Sometimes it's timed out. They don't kind of go back and check or just kind of reopen company portal to have it check, then it could sit here with like a failed. So just check in with your users. But we're going to look at the properties here, just make sure we get similar ones. So you can see I used the help. I didn't even copy the whole description, just the link. You can see our previous dependencies. So we'll getting closer, 53%. And see our install is done. You can see it in here. There's nothing really running. So we'll go ahead and shut that down. And this should start going faster. So we'll just start our process. Oh, I know there's not much to start until you get the upload file, but that should be fairly soon. There's that jump up. Now it's going to start to fill out the zip. And you know, the nice thing here is, again, you don't need VPN. They just need an internet connection. It's going to download in the background regardless of the size of your package. For required, it'll automatically download, and then be there to install. And it's going to install with the full folder access on their C drive. So it's really helping in that scenario. of course, over like a VPN and like group policy, like that can really slow you down. I'm sure there's a million other tools out there that do this. This is part of our licensing. This is why we wanted to use it. We wanted to make this work because, let's face it, IT budgets in AEC can be really tight. So we use what we have and make it work. And we're almost there. Sorry for the dogs. I really need to pin these so they're just there. So there we go. You can see this package is bigger. You know, InfraWorks isn't a small program, so we're done. We're at almost 8 gig, you know, 7.5 gigs, something like that. So we're gonna close this. Go ahead and pick our file. So we're gonna rename this. Six. We're gonna grab our link so people can go there, add in our publisher, our app version, category, and you know, some of this you don't have to fill out. We do the category for sorting. You can create these categories in your settings, so that's why we've added like some of this stuff like Adobe, Microsoft updates, add-ins, things like that, just so there's a different way to sort if we need to. Put that there. We already took a screen capture of go. So we're going to do our uninstall command, our install command, I should say. So we named this file and then if you're copying and pasting, just please watch out for spaces. Looks like in the registry keys now they have removed, there used to be an uninstall command. Looks like that's been removed for the most part, but let's see, oh, here we go. So here's the thing with Autodesk, sometimes you have multiple keys, so one might be one thing, you know, this is for InfraWorks, but the key is the same almost. You can see slight differences, but the ending may be the same, or you know, most of it might be the same. You can see this is for InfraWorks itself, this is for the content, so there's multiple, so just watch which key you're grabbing, because something like the content may change while the main app doesn't. Just putting it out there. Operating system, it's 64-bit. We do the minimum Windows 10, even though we're all Windows 11. We're going to go with this one. Like I said, for main apps, I like to use sometimes the exe, because it's one of the last things put there. So we'll grab that. Location, program files, Autodesk. And it's 100% up to you. I only like to do this for the main apps, because if there's a problem, somehow something gets deleted, and it doesn't see that exe, then you can it can reinstall it. So we're going to just grab the exe file name. Though, you know, one thing I will say is it does look like they did not add a year for the install, so Now, for this, I may actually change it because I don't like the fact that there's no year in there, because that can definitely change. So back to the registry key. So sorry about that. So we're going to grab this registry. We're going to go with display name, because even if there's an update to like display version, it's not going to change the display name generally. So we're going to do a string comparison equals Autodesk InfraWorks. So there's that, and we'll go ahead and set that. No dependencies, no supersedence. Again, add all users for available. That puts it in company portal, so they can install it as they need it. We're going to go ahead and create now, because this is almost 8 gigs. It's going to take 40-45 minutes before it's uploaded. Even with a fast connection, it's just whatever Intune's ingesting it at. Obviously, if you're doing this like in Azure, it could be a lot faster. Like if you have a VDI or something like that up there, the ingestion time could be a lot faster. But we're not doing this from home, so there's that. Anyway, here's how to deploy InfraWorks 2026. Hope it works for you all. Feel free to post questions. Anything you want to see, like if there's another app, happy to kind of make a package and show you how it works. Thanks.